In the past week, Ali Dawah released two videos that are not only drenched in deceit but serve only one purpose: character assassination. He has not acted as a man of Dawah. Instead, he has revealed his true form, a religious tabloid merchant gift-wrapped in Islam, Quran, and Sunnah, yet hollow of truth. I could spend hours unpacking the lies, the deflections, and his desperate ploys to steer attention away from the serious case against Mohammed Hijab, but I'll focus on just a few crucial points. To everyone watching, do not be deceived by theatrics, not the fiery speeches, not the performative outrage. Peel back the showmanship. Question the motives. Use your God-given intellect, because the truth is not always loud. It is often buried beneath the noise. Now, I want to highlight something Ali Dawah said that I completely agree with.
Salman, who's an unqualified person, who has no Islamic credentials, who is somebody who is obsessively obsessed, he's made his whole dunya, his ex-wife dunya, when somebody like that who is raging in anger.
You are right, Ali. I am not qualified. I've never claimed credentials in Islam. I'm not a scholar nor a teacher in our deen. I never pretended to be. And let me reiterate to everyone watching, do not look to me for religious guidance. Go to the sincere scholars, not the storytellers, not the clout chasers, not the reactionary YouTubers playing sheikh in front of ring lights. But here's where your mirror cracks. What you see isn't my rage, Ali. It is yours. You are blinded by anger, and that rage has disoriented you from any Islamic ethics in your latest videos. All you've recycled is the same worn-out narrative posted by the Hijab, Suleiman, and Birjas camp. He's just a bitter ex. He's obsessed with dunya. He's trying to destroy the du'at. It's the same toxic Kool-Aid served to the blindly loyal, and you've chugged it down without question. Let me set the record straight. The only video I ever made primarily focusing on my case against dunya was my first, back in September of 2023. Every video since has focused on a single critical theme: exposing corruption, deceit, and the abuse of religious authority. I've never claimed scholarly credentials, but I am qualified to speak on injustice, because for that, the only qualification you need is to be from amongst Allah's creation. Speaking and advocating for justice publicly is the right of every human being, regardless of race, faith, or gender. Now let's address your desperate attempt to pin a false accusation on me regarding Omar Suleiman.
These were slanderous, because when I spoke to Omar Suleiman, he took an oath by Allah, and I spoke to you.
Let's clarify this too. You didn't speak to me, you sent me a voice note. We exchanged a few brief messages. You requested a conference call. I agreed. You ignored me. I followed up multiple times. You continued to ignore me. But why? Because you weren't looking for the truth. You were hunting for sound bites. You had just gotten a juicy statement from Omar Suleiman, and your only concern was pushing that onto YouTube before anyone could challenge it.
I spoke to Ustad Omar, and he took an oath by Allah, this accusation by Brother Salman, that he said, if we speak about the sister, the community is going to turn against me.
And then you realized, after your video went public, that what you presented as an oath wasn't actually an oath. So what did you do? Did you publish a clarification? No. You quietly buried a comment deep in the thread, unpinned and barely seen, while hundreds of thousands were misled.
I sent you a private message, which, not that I have a problem you mentioned in public. I had nothing to hide. I'm happy that you did. But the point here is the principle. You go and read a private message. Do you remember you sent me a few messages about your ex, Dunya, yeah? And you said to me, please, like that, I entrust you with this. I do not break that trust. I'm not going to do the same and reveal those messages because I gave you my word. I'm not going to allow that to go against a principle that I try to live by. I could easily come and say, hold on a second, shall I mention this and this and this that you've mentioned to me in private messages? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to fall for it because I sent you a private message, you made it public. It shows what kind of, you have no integrity.
Wallahi, your own words are testimony against you. In the same video where you cry about trust and integrity, you, 1, shared a private voice note from Dr. Abu Ayyad Hijab despite confidentiality being discussed between them, and 2, published secret recordings of Sister Aisha without her consent and reduced a 1-hour conversation into 5-second sound bites, stripped of context and designed to mislead. So please, Don't talk to us about principles all while trampling them. As for your claim that I violated confidentiality, I specifically requested confidentiality, but you never agreed. You ignored over 30 of my messages. Only after I released a video highlighting the private content you discussed with Omar Suleiman through a third party did you suddenly respond. And because of your lies and distortions, I've published our entire conversation on the Behind Veils website so the public can be witness of how you twist narratives.
Mohammed Tarawna clearly told you, do not mention his name. You disregarded it. What kind of a man are you?
That's an interesting claim because I never mentioned his name in my first video. And even a sheikh confirmed that a secret nikah did occur. Did you hear that? A sheikh, not Sheikh Tarawna. So how exactly did you know I was referring to him? Is there additional information that you're concealing from the public? The only reason his name surfaced was because Mohammed Hijab himself revealed it in his response video. I deliberately concealed it. So if you're going to cry foul, go lecture to your buddy Hijab. But we both know you won't. You wouldn't dare, because just like him, you lack the courage to confront real wrongdoing. You're in the same sinking boat as Hijab, masters of deflection, experts in deceit. And when it comes to integrity, the only ones who have forfeited theirs are the two of you. So next time, before running your mouth in front of hundreds of thousands, do your homework, review the facts, spare the lies. Ali, your recent video collapsed under its own delusion. I literally went into sujood after watching it out of gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But why? Because Allah made you and others your own witnesses. You exposed yourself. Your big gotcha moment centered around a response one of my team members made in the comments. Her testimony is her evidence. And in your arrogance, you pounced on it, crafting your whole narrative around it, all while hiding entire audio clips like the one from Dr. Abu Aya, which you and Hijab sliced and diced to manipulate public perception.
We were quite honest in saying that, if you sit and have a conversation with us, we're just trying to resolve this. As-sulh khayr. As-sulh khayr. There's goodness for everyone. So that's what we were trying to do. We're trying to tell the sister there's no point in doing this publicly. So this is wallahi, this is probably the main reason I'm just trying my absolute best so that you understand. I care about you. I want the best for you. But if you wrong someone, as your brother, you're supposed to do the right thing, akhi. You're supposed to do the right thing. Even if Salman and I decide that, khalas, after you've spoken with us and you gave us certain things that, khalas, we realize, no, she's in the wrong, and we tell her, hey, you need to stop, she still might go public. But at that point, I can guarantee you that Salman and I will stand with you. Akhi, if you have that proof where you guys did agree to this, I'm telling you right now, you have my word. Wallahi, and I said this to Salman, if he has that proof, we're not doing this. Khalas.
You stripped away context, hid compassion, twisted sincerity, and served it on a platter of slander. And now, the climax of your deception, the screenshot you proudly presented to your 1.3 million followers, applauding yourself while falsely accusing Sister Aisha of creating it.
Now what we're going to do, brothers and sisters, is we're going to show you the first mistake, or the many mistakes they made, but one slip up, of a message, a fake, photoshopped message that we have to give it to our brother Salman, Dunya's ex-husband, should we say, who came out and said that this was photoshopped. Just one thing you missed there, brother Salman, should I say Dunya's ex-husband. Yeah, that Photoshop message that you missed out on your video to inform your viewers was done by herself. And here is the evidence.
Honey, what a colossal disaster. Yes, it was photoshopped, but it wasn't the sister who did it. And today, I will prove forensically and irrefutably that your accusation was rooted in a huge lie. Exhibit A. The source of the so-called proof screenshot came from the account True Salafi 1, who resurfaced out of nowhere just 4 days after our hijab expose. This is an account that was inactive on X since February of 2023, a whole 2 years and 2 months. Exhibit B. The screenshot you showed includes black bezels, something no phone screenshot captures, meaning it was digitally staged. And this could not have been the sister because the screenshot clearly shows that this was done within the YouTube app. Exhibit C. The annotation circles on two different screenshots are an exact pixel for pixel match when overlaid, one over the other. No smartphone does that. This is a classic Photoshop copy and paste. Exhibit D. One circle uses a brushstroke, the other a solid stroke, within the same screenshot. That's not how anyone annotates on a phone. It's entirely inconsistent and makes no logical sense, especially considering the fact that both distinct screenshots have the exact same differences with respect to the annotation markings. Still not convinced? Let's, for argument's sake, ignore all the previous exhibits. The next one is the finality of proofs. I present to you Exhibit E, the nail in the coffin. Zoom into the screenshot. The annotation marking appears beneath, underneath, below the YouTube share icon. That is impossible, unless it was composited in Photoshop. You cannot draw behind a UI element in a screenshot unless you were editing it in a graphics editor and did a sloppy job with layering the red annotation marking. For those of you watching, pull out your smartphone, go to a YouTube short, take a screenshot, and try annotating underneath any element within the screenshot. It simply is not possible.
Now what we're going to do, brothers and sisters, is we're going to show you the first mistake, or the main mistakes I made, but one slip up, of a message, a fake photoshopped message that we have to give it to our brother, Salman, Dunya's ex-husband, should we say, who came out and said that this was photoshopped. Just one thing you missed there, brother Salman, should I say, Dunya's ex-husband. Yeah, that photoshopped message that you missed out on your video to inform your viewers was done by herself.
This is not just deception, it is intentional deception. This was a calculated, malicious attempt to frame Sister Aisha and completely discredit her. Ali, you owe Sister Aisha a public apology. And more than that, we demand full disclosure. Who gave you that screenshot? Where did it come from? Who edited the image? You say you weren't behind it? Then prove it. Show the receipts, share the investigation. I gave you a starting point. True Salafi 1 on X. You're welcome. Let's see if you care enough about truth or only about saving face. This isn't a minor oversight. This is not a harmless mistake. This is fabricated evidence meant to deceive millions and destroy a woman's credibility. Now we're left asking, what else have you faked? Why are sound bites clipped from lengthy conversations? Why was the sister being recorded privately? And why were the recordings leaked selectively? Lastly, I turn to Ustad Ahmad Muhammad, the supposed advisor behind Ali's videos, the same person who, according to Ali Dawah, reviewed his interview with Sister Aisha and made the decision to not publish it. The same person who Sister Aisha called out of frustration and desperation and made the regrettable comments while being emotionally charged, all while being secretly recorded by this apparent Ustad. If you did, in fact, review and approve Ali's content, especially with this last video, please explain. How did you greenlight slanderous hypotheticals implying that I committed zina? Even if said hypothetically, that is a major sin and a grave offense. And don't dare compare that to the case against hijab. Because unlike you, we did our due diligence privately and carefully for 8 months. We interviewed the sister, we discussed the matter with scholars, and most importantly, we engaged in a conversation with the accused, Mohammed Hijab. Ali Dawah, what you've done is no different than the slander that was cast against our mother, the mother of the believers, Aisha radiallahu anha. Allah responds to this in Surah An-Nur.
ولولا فضل الله عليكم ورحمته في الدنيا والآخرة في الدنيا والآخرة لمسكم فيما أفضتم فيه عذاب عظيم إذ تلقونه بألسنتكم وتقولون بأفواهكم ما ليس لكم به علم وتحسبونه هينا وهو عند الله عظيم ولولا إذ سمعتموه قلتم ما يكون لنا أن نتكلم بهذا سبحانك هذا بهتان عظيم.
You have been exposed, Ali. The lies you tried to sell to millions of people, all while covering for Mohammed Hijab, it has begun to unravel. Just wait till you see what we have yet to present. Allahumma musta'an.